Oh, that reminds me, railroad jokes. You may know that there's a railroad called the Rock Island. There's a couple of songs that include that. There's also a railroad called the Nickel Plate. I don't know why it was called that. But anyway, there's a story that one day there were a couple preachers walking along the road, and one was saying, oh gosh, of course he didn't cuss, but he said, oh golly gee, it's such a shame, right in the middle of my sermon on Sundays, the Rock Island line train goes by and he blows his whistle and it's so loud, I have to stop preaching for a minute while it goes by. And the other preacher says, well, that's nothing. Every Sunday during the collection, I look at the aisle and I see the nickel plate coming right up the aisle. Of course, that was back when a nickel was worth about $2 of what today's money, but anyhow, this is a song called The Breakman. It's by a friend of mine named Al Exo. That's E-X-O-O, but being Dutch, double O's get pronounced O. He's not Dutch, the name is. He grew up right here in Michigan, I think. I think I'm going to do it in the key of D. Dog. Anyway, and it's evidently a sort of true story of when he was playing a club in Chicago. He sat in a Southside Chicago bar. He heard the old Rock Island whistle moan. And I wondered if he'd read what the papers all had said, that financially the line was going down. But his big frame never moved, save to raise a glass of gin in a slow salute, time's now dead and gone. And his eyes seemed to stare through the walls that held us warm, and his fingers kept the rhythm to my song. He never was one of the show business folk, like his buddies Frankie L. or Jimmy D. But his friends said he was good, and so he always would try to keep them entertained just for free. From a rolling Midwest hills out to California, he had ridden as a brakeman on the trains, and he caught his favorite acts both in Vegas and LA, and many came to know him by his name. Then as the long freight rattled through the lonesome starry night, his friends would say, hey, do your Jimmy D. So starting with a joke, he'd belt out note by note the acts he'd paid so dearly to see. No, he never was one of the show business folk, like his buddies Frankie L. or Jimmy D. But his friends said he was good, and so he always would try to keep them entertained just for free. Well, he rides the rails no more, he's long since retired. His wife and he live out by the lake shore, that's Chicago. And the quiet time has been quite long since he's been asked for a song. But no one likes the good ones anymore. But in his mind's eye, I think I faded from the scene, and an orchestra was playing on the stand. And he sang a sad old song about the autumn leaves, and the crowd was just like putty in his hands. He never was one of the show business folk, like his buddies Frankie L. or Jimmy D. But his friends said he was good, and so he always would try to keep him